Guys, how's everybody doing on their end? M.V.K here, back again with another movie review. I told you guys I'd be back behind the camera. You see the camera right here, straight in the face, and back again for another movie review. One of the last couple of movie reviews that I'll be putting out for the year, actually. It's not that many movies that are coming out that I will be covering on the channel, but I'm here to finally talk about Black Adam. I posted a post on my community feed that I had finally found the time to just go and check out the movie, and and then I put one down. Next up, Black Panther, which I will see probably sometime next week or so. But yeah, I saw this. I think I saw it. I remember I saw it a couple of days ago, and yeah, I'm here to talk about it, guys. I'm here to give my thoughts and my just overall opinion on the project as a whole. And if you like it, thank you. If you don't, that's fine. But let us talk about this, okay? So, yeah, let's talk about it. So first and foremost, let's get it right out the way. Did I like the movie? Yes, I did. I enjoyed it very much. This JSA fanboy heart was fulfilled somewhat, because I got to see some members of the JSA, not all of them, but it did my heart good to see the JSA getting some spotlight and some respect. That's the first thing I will get out the way. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, for all those who are wondering, did he like the movie? Yes, I did. I did enjoy the movie. So me being a knowing of Black Adam, I was wondering how much of his origin they were going to change, and they tweaked some parts of his origin. For example, Teth Adam not being the choice for the Wizard Council to gain the powers. It was someone else. If you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it. So that was announced in the movie as well. Now, for everybody, remember when Black Adam says Shazam, the different letters are from different gods. Remember, Billy's mostly comes from a lot of heroic Greek mythology gods, while Adam's comes from more African deities, a lot of Egyptian gods. You know, Amun, strength, and things like that. So definitely, for all those who wondering about that, so that's definitely the case. I thought The Rock was good. You know, this wasn't his best performance, but there was still points of the movie he did not really lose himself in the role. What I mean by that is that I still saw The Rock. He wasn't putting on a different character to a degree, but I will say my man did get jacked for this role, so I'm not shocked at that. But I liked what they did with Kahndaq. You know, they basically says it goes in saying that Kahndaq has always been invaded by invaders and taken over by invaders, and they played that up a lot in this movie. I was like, oh Jesus, like. It was almost like they never had any real independence, from themselves, and it was just like Jesus. But what we see in the movie is, in a sense, it's kind of a double take, because I will say this: the TV spots did a good job of kind of hiding a little bit, because a lot of people are saying, like, why would he say these powers are a curse, and then we get to see why he says that. And I thought those were good takes on the role. You saw Dim Jong Hoon's come back as you saw one of the wizards, Shazam, and the Wizard Council. But yeah, the point is in the movie he is not the first initiative choice for the role as the champion. And it's kind of ironic that they went that route, but there's another twist to it that happens. But outside of that, we see that Sarah Ashadi, her character, I believe her name was Isis or Isa. I think they called her Isa, but I think it was Isis. It sounded like that. She's kind of like a teacher, but she's kind of like a Middle Eastern. I looked at her as like a Middle Eastern Laura Croft, and she's looking for the crown of Sabak. Now, for any DC fans out there, we know Sabak. Sabak is a bad demon in the DC universe. And we see that throughout the time there was a king. He had told his slaves to find precious metals to forge this crown. And the crown was able to give the possessor strength and things like that. It was different. I was like, oh, okay. Now, unfortunately, Intergang has taken over Kandahar big time, and they're just like, overrunning the citizens. Like, okay, where you going? Where you this and that, and it's just like ridiculous. You're just like, good God, like they don't have like their own independent freedom. So when they do release Adam, he just goes apeshit on people. And yeah, I will not lie. He flips stuff. He just goes ham on these soldiers, Intergang. And this is where the situation starts to become like, it is trying to blend, like you're trying to understand Teth Adam to a degree, because that's why they will have like Sarah Shadi, she has a child in this, and he becomes very like attentive with Adam in terms of like, hearing the stories of Adam. Like there's even a big statue of the champion, which a lot of people think it was him, but it's not. I will say that. In the movie, we also see that to a degree Adam has like his own kind of kryptonite, because there are times there's a substance that can hurt him, and you'll see it kind of crack in his suit, and it's just like, oh, okay, so something can hurt him. But Rock does his best to give off that authenticity of, I'm not a good guy. I'm a bad man, and I will beat the living crap out of you. And then that's where we enter the JSA. We have a cameo from Viola Davis, Amanda Waller. She comes back, and she wants them to go after, basically appeal to Adam to maybe surrender and things like that, because in their eyes, and of course Waller's eyes, she's like, he's a threat. So we have the JSA is made up of Aldous Hodge, Hawkman, Noah Centineo, Atom Smasher, Quintessa Twindell as Cyclone, and Pierce Brosnan as Kent Nielsen, aka Dr. Fate. Let me get this right out the way. Pierce Brosnan, best character in this movie, Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. I loved him as Dr. Fate. He was great. And shouts out to his children, and shouts out to Benedict Cumberbatch, because it was his performance as Doctor Strange and Pierce Brosnan's sons, I believe, that convinced him to do the role. And he was great. I loved him in this role. He was damn near perfect as Kent Nielsen. And the only thing I would say I did not like is kind of Dr. Fate felt a little bit nerfed. Like, he's extremely powerful, and I'm just like, no, wait a minute. Like, there were some things that I'm like, why are you nerfing him? Like, don't nerf him. Like, but outside of that, he was perfect. And I'm gonna say this right now, Mr. Gunn, I know you're not listening, but sir, I would damn sure would love a Dr. Fate movie prior to this. Maybe a solo movie of Kent Pierce Brosnan, maybe younger, in his younger days as Dr. Fate, and you could have him fighting like Wu-Tan or something like that. He was great. I loved him. But everybody else was pretty good too. I mean, Aldous Hodge was good as Hawkman. I loved his look. It was nice. They talked about Inf Metal. It was like, yes, they were mentioning Inf Metal. Even though the JSA reminded me of the X-Men, because just where they were in Saint Roch, Louisiana, which is where Hawkman used to lay that was his stomping ground. The mansion and everything that they were in, even the jet, it was like, this is very X-Men-esque. I was cracking up at that one. I was like, this is X-Men. Like, it was funny, but I love that, basically they're mentioning that their jet is made of Inf Metal. He was good. And I'm a big fan of Aldous Hodge. Aldous Hodge was good as Hawkman, but I will not gonna lie, he got his ass beat around in this movie a lot. But he gave it back. But yeah, you can clearly see the difference of power when him and Adam would go at it. Because him and Adam went at it a couple of times, and I wasn't shocked that was happening, because that was pulling straight from the comics. Adam and Hawkman never really got along really well. They always had like a grudge with each other, so it was really good to see that. But loving when Pierce would put the helm on, and the helm looked great. It looked different than what we saw in, like, on cartoons and everything else. Like, he didn't have eyelids right there. It looked like it was just a helmet with no eyelids, so it was interesting. And here they even announced that it's alien based. Cyclone even told Atom Smasher, yeah, it's don't touch it. That's alien based. And I'm like, alien based? I'm like, wait, the helm is not alien? I don't think so. I can't remember. I'm like, no. So there were times with that. But one of the coolest things also was another great cameo between, so Atom Smasher here is not the first Atom Smasher. There was another before him. He is the nephew of the original, and the original was Henry Winkler. He was talking to his uncle about the suit, and he's like, don't ruin that suit, it's a classic. And he's like, sure, uncle. And then you saw who was talking. He was like, I'm like, is that the Fonz? And basically it was acknowledged that the Fonz was the first Atom Smasher. I thought that was great. I was like, that's cool. I like that approach. But the pacing of the movie was pretty good, but it kept following the same trope of not all details are real. Like, all the legends of Adam, or Tef Adam, as a lot of them, they were calling him, a lot of them even saying like that's an out-of-date name. And but it's like, dude, you're making fun of his name. That's his name, Tef Adam. But you see a lot of that, and we get to see a lot of points where it was a bit of a tale of, okay, what is the truth behind Adam? And then we get that truth, and we find out that he wasn't the first choice. He was given the power later by the original champion. I'm not going to spoil who that was, and if you know who it is, then you know who it is. But he became filled with revenge, and of course that's what happens. And he killed the king, who had the crown of Sabak, and then the wizard council put him in a prison, and it's Sarah Shadi's character who breaks him out of that prison, and hence that's where it goes. I liked, in a sense, the way Adam did kind of surrender to the JSA afterwards. I was like, okay. And then, but when he said Shazam and turned back into his mortal form, I was like, this motherfucker should be dead. Like, as soon as he did that, I was like, he's gonna start aging really quick. I thought that was what was gonna happen. Theoretically, that should have happened. it is him in his godly form that keeps him from aging. But once I was like, oh, he's gonna age, but he didn't. And then of course he's taken back to Task Force X headquarters in Black Site, and they put him under. The way they put him under is like they put him in water, so he can't even say, even if he does, he can't say Shazam. So I thought that was interesting. When the way Sabak comes out, I was a little bit like, about that. I was a little iffy on that, but I did like how the people of Kandar really came to appreciate and support Adam. Like they understood his way of thinking, because to them the JSA were the outsiders, and a lot of time they even said, like, to the JSA, like, where were you guys at when this happened to Kandar? Where were you guys at and it makes sense for them to go that route, like saying, like, you guys are supposed to be heroes and you deal with international. They even said, like, the JSA deal with a lot of international threats, but it still felt like, yeah, are you? Do you? We don't know. That was some of the things I did not like. We never really got a real good understanding of the JSA in terms of how long have they been around. And this is kind of the problem I have with you incorporate a team like the JSA who come before the Justice League. It was like, okay, so how long have they been around? Have there been other members of the JSA? There were things like that really kind of bothered me. Those are some of the things that bothered me. And Sabak being a champion of the underworld, I get where they were going at it with it, but I was just like, he's just a demon. Like, you're making him more like he's some kind of champion than he's not. Like, don't pull that. I didn't like what happened to a certain character in there, because once again, it was just like, no, wait a minute. He's more powerful than you. It just bothered me. I did like a lot of, like, in terms of the seeing Atom Smasher like do his thing. Like when he got big, he would run and he get big, and he performed it well. It looked well when he would grow. And Cyclone was great too. The way they portrayed her is like she's a genius, but also portrayed her like she's so giddy and so understanding. But when she's using her powers, like, you see her they slow it down every time she's using her wind powers, and it was great. It was cool to see. But I was just wishing that I wish there were more JSA members. I'm like, oh, where's Jay? Where's Jay? Where's Ted? Where's Alan? I was like, where's Michael? That was the problem I was having. Even though it was great to see, it was like, where are all the other JSA members? And when Adam does come back to face Sabak, I did like that when he finally kind of acknowledged that he was truly looking more like Black Adam. He had the true look, like the gold was all on him from his boots to his armlets and things like that. I was like, yeah, now he's looking like Black Adam. Even with the cape, I was like, yeah, now he looks perfect. But outside of that, it was fine. It was a fun movie. I did enjoy it. I did like the little tease that Atom Smasher and Black Adam seemed to got along pretty well, because in the comics they had a pretty tight relationship. They were really good friends. So I really like they teased that a little bit. But outside of that, the things I did not like was some of the pacing in terms of Sabak, and I really felt like Intergang really didn't do much in this. I don't think that was needed. They could have just had maybe a group of mercenaries, or just a bad. I felt like having Intergang just felt unnecessary. I felt like the fact that they had Kandahar come off like it was just always under someone else's rule, I felt bad. That felt bad, and I was like, damn, like they've always been invaded and always governed by the invaders. So you can understand when, members of outside of Carnarians come in. Yeah, I was like, okay, I get it. But the fighting was fine. Like, Adam was just ripping people apart. It was just ridiculous. And this is where I don't mind the overtone and destruction because that's how Adam is, and he's gonna just screw you. Like, if you're an enemy, I'm gonna kill you. It was really funny just to see, Hawkman saying heroes don't kill, but I'm like, wait, Hawkman, you go straight to killing too if you need to. And I love that all this is mace. It also can transform into Hawkman's axe that we would later see in the New 52. He was fighting Sabak at one point, and he just wheeled it around, and then the big axe came out. I was like, ooh, I was like, that would look nice. But yeah, there is a death in this from one of the JSA members. I'm not gonna spoil who it is, but I was a little pissed off about that. I was like, what? I'm like, God damn it. Like, I was a little upset about that. But outside of that, it was fun. It was fun. I liked it. It was a good start to hopefully a new foundation for DC Studios and movies. Would I want a sequel? Maybe, because even at the end, he finally says his name. He finally gives a new name, and then there's the credit that just got spoiled. That right there was spoiled, but it still was nice to see, no matter what. The mid credit was spoiled to death. Even if I didn't want to be spoiled, but it was just spoiled. So yes, we do see Henry Cavill back as Superman, and I must say I smiled. I was like, he looks great. He looks good. It's great to see him back. Don't do him dirty, DC. Warner Brothers, Mr. Gunn, put your backing behind him. I do like that. Basically, Amanda Waller saying, okay, Black Adam, you don't want to be in my prison, that's fine. But if you ever, Kandahar is now your prison. I hope I'm saying it right. Kandahar is your prison. You leave it, then there's gonna be trouble. And I love where he says, nobody on this planet can, is strong enough to hurt me. And then I love what Amanda Waller said, I can get people who are not from this planet. My issue with the whole basically Superman coming down is like, it feels like he comes off more like Amanda's poster boy. Like, I didn't like that. I'm not gonna sit there and lie. I did not like that. Like, soon as Amanda said, okay, fine, here comes Superman. So it was like, wait a minute, are you working with her, Clark, or is it just like, I'll work with you, but you don't own me? It just felt weird. It really did. I was like, okay. But I still liked it. It was great. So if they do this Superman versus Black Adam movie or so, I'll be for it. I'll see where it goes. But outside of that, I thought it was fun. I thought it was great. I thought it was a good movie. If I was giving it a rating, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It wasn't perfect. I didn't even mind a lot of the tweaks that they did to Adam's origin, and they were somewhat understanding in a sense. But I will give Rock a lot of credit for getting this movie rolling and helping be responsible for bringing back Henry Cavill and things like that. But I think as a fan, I want to see him and Billy together at one point. They gotta do. I don't care what these rumors are, is that Rock doesn't like, Captain Marvel movie. I'm not saying that name. Is ridiculous because he is part of that universe. He's a part of that. It would mean a lot to us fans to see that. I don't care if you do a Superman Shazam versus Black Adam, like a live action version of what they did in that animated series, but I would love it. I'm just saying. I am looking forward to the Captain Marvel, the next movie. It's hard for me to say the wizard's name and say that's Billy Batson, because it's not to me. But yeah, I am looking forward to that. But outside of that, yeah, it was good. It was fun. That was my thoughts on Black Adam. Do I recommend it? If you are a true Black Adam fan, or you like that world, I say give it a shot. There's good action, a lot of comedy from certain people. There's a couple of players in there key players and actors who play like the comedic roles. But outside of that, you will definitely, if you haven't seen it, you will definitely agree. Pierce Brosnan was the best part of that movie. He did his thing, and I loved it. Thought he was great. But outside of that, Black Adam is done. On to Wakanda Forever. I will definitely be seeing that soon. Heard nothing but good things. I'm looking forward to seeing how they portray Namor, and the one thing I hope to hear him say is them famous 2 words, Imperious Rex. If he doesn't say that, that may hurt me. And don't spoil anything for anybody who's seen it. I'll go in and see it for myself. So guys, if you enjoyed this, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you did see the movie, leave your comments in the section down below. Don't forget, guys, I have the Patreon as well. You want to become an Uber Pack member? Think about joining the Patreon as well. I got several different tiers that may fit all of you. And of course, there's merchandise in the merchandise down below. Give it a thumbs up. Give it a share. Claw that like button, my pack. This is M.V.K saying peace, one love, to you. Keep it real. Deuces.